We're just doing some housekeeping. We had a whole bunch of appointments that were up for a while. We're just trying to clean them all up and put them on tonight. The first deals with the Assessment Board review, with 2 expired terms.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thanks. I know that this should have been done 3 months ago, but everybody being busy, building a new courthouse and all the stuff going on, so that's obviously we'll clean up our appointments and get the dates up to par, and there's a couple of explanations I want to give. This evening, before you, is the reappointment of Kathleen Delatorre on the Tax Board Review, which is probably one of the worst boards that you can go on because you hear everybody's complaints. And Michael Kaiser is a reappointment, and submitted by Councilwoman Stephanie Nancy as Kristen Sinclair, who will be a new appointment because John Laredo was, basically I appointed him, the mayor doesn't appoint many boards, but I appointed him to the planning board. So those are 3 nominations. The other thing too is just for the council's information, Kathleen had mentioned that she needed she would like to have a computer, so we're going to give them a laptop. We have some extra laptops from the police department, so they'll have their own computer now, because she's saying when people come up and say, well, you know, I live next to Bobby Russo, and his taxes are X amount, mine are X amount, so they'll be able to look. So I bring those names before you and ask for your support for those.
Is there a motion to reappoint Kathleen Delatorre, Michael Pez, and appoint Kristen Sinclair to the Assessment Board of Review?
Second.
Councilman Botticelli, second by Councilman Santilli. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Next we have appointments to the Johnston Library Board of Trustees, 3 expired terms.
Yeah, and as I said, there's 2 reappointments. Lisa Filippelli, who's here this evening. Lisa has done a marvelous job, and I want to commend you, Lisa, for obviously you and, of course, the Senate that's with you and the other board members for steering the ship to getting that beautiful building over there, and we appreciate it, and your hard work and dedication. And Joe Rotella was also requested to go on. And Debbie Harvey was being appointed from District 3 from Mr. Santilli. Mr. Santilli's request is being asked to be put on.
Okay. Is there a motion to reappoint Lisa Filippelli, Joseph Rotella, and appoint Debbie Harvey to the Library Board of Trustees?
I'll make the motion.
By Councilman Poco.
Second.
Second by Councilman Santilli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
A couple of other expired terms that have been going on for a while is Dennis Cardillo, he's basically an alternate. His term will expire shortly in about 4 months. And also a new appointment is Tommy Lopardo. He's a new individual that wants to participate in town government. And I think it's great that we get people, Mr. President, members of the council, that do participate in their town government. It really gives them a sense of accomplishment when they see, especially when they see what goes on and what they can do on these boards and commissions. They can have a very positive impact.
All right. Is there a motion to reappoint Dennis Cardillo and appoint Councilman Lopardo? Motion by Councilman Santilli.
Second.
Second by Councilman Poco. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Next is the Johnston Town Attorney Board.
Correct. Thank you. This board, as you know, we have these 2 young ladies that are on this board. We just appointed Mr. Delfino, and these 2 young ladies that are on the board. My husband told me to call you young because I know you're young. So is Cheryl. So, but I spoke with them. As you know, the way the ordinance was written up before my time, the ordinance stated that they can only do 2 terms, which I think is unfair. It's difficult nowadays to get good people to serve on boards and commissions. So. With that in mind, as you know, we're going to submit, if you want to call it legislation or change the ordinance, that it will really abolish the term limits for this board, because this is an important board, and we've got some really good people. You know, Priscilla, if I may, Mr. DeMeo, she is an attorney, and she has done a remarkable job and has some good ideas. And I know that she's going to be, I spoke with her this week, she's going to be coming before the council with a real good idea, which I think is great. And when it comes to drunk driving and as far as somebody serving someone underage, and I'll save that for her to discuss with you at another day. But I want to really thank her for staying on the board, and also Cheryl Jackson. We all know Cheryl Jackson works at the Housing Authority, and Cheryl does a remarkable job. I'm speaking with Joe Tadino. That's a Freudian slip because we're in this courthouse. But Joe DeSantis, the executive director of Tri-Town, he was ecstatic that you and Cheryl agreed to stay on. So I think it's a great appointment. So with that, Mr. President, I present to you.
Motion to reappoint Cheryl Jackson. Motion by Councilman Botticelli, second by Councilman Santilli. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. And then we have We have Tri-Town Board review too, but we don't deal with that at this point, right? As far
Yes,
as-
they're reappointments, they're my appointments.
Oh, it's your appointment.
You can't have it all, Mr. President.
Oh, no. Are those up for tonight?
Yes, correct. If I may, the Tri-Town Board, it's the Johnston slash Smith, Johnston Tri-Town Board. Beth was here tonight. Beth is no stranger. Beth is obviously not only one of our local reporters for one of our local papers, but she's a parent and she's a resident. She's a citizen of our town. And Beth has done a great job, and I would like to see her reappointed. And we usually have a principal at the high school, and Mr. Foley is the new principal at the high school, so I'm recommending that he be appointed. And there's also a student that's supposed to be on. However, I have to speak, I'm having a meeting with Dr. DeLulo Monday morning, and we're going to talk about putting a student on, because the student that was there has graduated. And by the way, he's done remarkably well. He went on to be very successful at college, so we need to put a student on there. And I'm going to speak to, obviously, Dr. DeLulo and Mr. Foley to put a high school student on. So that position is still going to be vacant until I come before you with their names. But I strongly urge you to support Beth Hurd, who, as I said, has done a great job. And as I said, we appreciate you giving back to our community, Beth. Thank you. We really do. And Mr. Foley, who is the new principal of the high school.
I'll move to give that excellent person.
Talking about me? Talking about me? Oh,
I use a different term for
okay. Talking to my wife.
Gerald Foley to his Tri-Town Board.
All right, moved by Council Vitale to support the mayor's recommendation, and second by Council Santilli to put Beth Hurd and Gerald Foley on the Tri-Town Board of Review. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed?
I know Vince is going to be happy because all the dates have expired, and as I said, we were supposed to do this about 3 months ago. And Vince is not the type of guy to be persistent, and he's very, he'll say, hey, what's going on here? They get these things done. So we want to thank you for obviously updating the boards and commissions. And now we'll have all commission members who don't expire, who are serving in a capacity of